Have you ever wondered if there's one single idea, just one thought, that could completely transform your life? What if the reality you're living right now, your relationships, your money situation, your health, your career, is not fixed, but changeable, all based on a single, powerful realization? Imagine that all the struggle, doubt, and limitation you've faced up until now has simply been a reflection of the thoughts you've repeatedly entertained. Today, we're going to reveal exactly what that one transformative thought is, as proven and lived by Neville Goddard. This isn't just theory. This is reality-shifting truth, made simple. Neville didn't just talk about imagination and manifestation, he proved over and over that a single shift in awareness can bend your world around your assumptions. In the next few moments, you're going to discover the key that unlocks your potential and shows you how to use it, practically, powerfully, and immediately. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will not only understand this one thought that can instantly change your life, you'll be able to use it to rewrite your story from this moment forward. And I promise you, once you see it, you'll never unsee it. The world will never look the same again. Let's begin. Neville Goddard once said, "Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live." That sentence holds the one thought that can instantly change your entire reality. Your world is yourself pushed out. This idea may seem simple at first, even poetic. But when you truly grasp what it means, when it sinks deep into your mind and becomes part of the way you see everything, it becomes like a spiritual earthquake that rearranges your life from the inside out. You are not a powerless being at the mercy of chance, fate, or external forces. You are the creative center of your experience. You are the projector, not the screen. Everything you assume to be true about yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, gets reflected back to you through the events, people, and situations of your life. That's not just a philosophy. That's the mechanism of reality itself. And Neville's life, teachings, and countless stories from his students prove it over and over again. But the key, the one thought, is this: I am the only operant power. Let that settle in. There is no one else determining your fate. There's no power outside of you deciding if you succeed, if you're loved, if you're wealthy or poor, sick or healthy. There's no one pulling the strings but you, through your imagination, through your beliefs, through the concept of yourself that you carry around silently. And when that idea becomes more than words, when it becomes your identity, you become free. That one shift is not just mental. It is spiritual. It is energetic. It reorients you from being a victim of life to the author of life. So if you're watching this now, if something inside you knows there's more to life than struggle and randomness, this is your moment. You don't need years of spiritual training. You don't need anyone to approve of you or give you permission. You need only one realization: I am the operant power. What I assume about myself is what becomes true in my life. That's why Neville said to test it. Don't just believe, experience. Take something small today, imagine it with feeling, and persist in the assumption that it's already yours. And watch. Your world will shift, because it was never separate from you in the first place. It was always the mirror of your inner world. That's why when you change your inner talk, your inner images, your inner state, the outer world has no choice but to conform. The mirror doesn't argue, it reflects. And that one thought, I am the only operant power, is the command that changes everything. I am the only operant power. Neville Goddard didn't teach this as a motivational phrase or a feel-good mantra, he meant it as a literal truth. If you fully understood the implications of this thought, your entire experience of life would transform instantly. You'd realize that there is no one to blame, no force working against you, no separate God judging you or controlling your destiny. Everything you experience is created by the assumptions you hold, and those assumptions come from your own imagination. This is what Neville meant when he said, "The world is yourself pushed out." That means your reality, your outer world, is nothing more than a projection of your inner conversations, inner beliefs, and dominant feelings. Think about it. If you continually feel unworthy, unnoticed, unloved, the world around you will faithfully mirror those feelings. You'll encounter people who ignore you, dismiss you, or take you for granted. But it isn't because the world is cruel, it's because the world is obedient. It simply reflects what you assume to be true about yourself. That's how powerful you are. And here's the secret, when you change those inner assumptions, the world must change, too. It's not optional. It's law. Neville often spoke of the law of assumption, and this law states that whatever you assume to be true, persists in your world until you replace it with a new assumption. So if you assume you're lucky, you'll notice opportunities showing up in your life as if by magic. If you assume you're always broke, your life will confirm that, no matter how hard you try to make money. If you assume that people don't respect you, that assumption will echo through your relationships, your workplace, even with strangers. But this isn't meant to make you feel guilt, it's meant to give you freedom. Because if you created it, you can change it. That's the power in Neville's teaching. No matter where you are, no matter how bad things look, you are never stuck. You are never too late. You are never out of options. All it takes is a new assumption, persisted in. And that's what makes this thought so radical, so transformative, it returns power back to you. You don't need to manipulate the world. You don't need to wait for the perfect timing. You don't need to change others. You only need to assume a new version of yourself. Begin to imagine yourself already being who you want to be. Live from that place in your imagination, and refuse to be swayed by the appearances around you. This is the test. This is the art. And the moment you begin to truly believe in your own inner power, your outer world will begin to change in ways that seem impossible, because the impossible only exists for those who believe they are powerless. But you are not. You are the operant power. And this one thought, held consistently and acted upon, will rewrite your entire reality. Let us now bring this one thought to life with a simple yet powerful story, one that illustrates the depth of Neville Goddard's message: you are the only operant power. Picture a young man named David, a man who felt invisible to the world. He worked hard, stayed quiet, kept his head down, and lived paycheck to paycheck. For years, he believed that success was for other people, those who were louder, richer, more connected. He assumed he wasn't seen, wasn't valued, and life seemed to confirm that belief at every turn. Every opportunity passed him by, every relationship felt like he was chasing affection, every job he worked drained him without reward. Until one day, tired of being invisible, David stumbled across Neville Goddard's teachings. He read the words, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." Something stirred inside him. Could it really be that his own assumptions were painting the picture of his life? He decided to test it, not because he fully believed yet, but because he had nothing to lose. Every morning and night, he imagined a scene, a single, simple moment, where he saw himself being praised and promoted. He didn't beg for it. He didn't doubt. He just lived in that assumption for 5 minutes a day. In his imagination, he felt respected, appreciated, successful. He walked around all day carrying the energy of someone who was seen and valued. He didn't tell anyone about it. He didn't push or control anyone. He simply shifted the thought he entertained about himself: I am respected. I am seen. I am valuable. Within weeks, the world began to shift. A manager who barely noticed him before suddenly called him into the office, not for discipline, but to offer him a promotion. Colleagues who had ignored him began to ask for his input. A friend he hadn't spoken to in years reconnected and offered him a freelance opportunity that doubled his income. The invisible man had become visible. But nothing had changed in the world, David had changed within. That's the moral of the story. When you change your concept of self, everything changes. David didn't chase results, he changed himself. And in doing so, the world, which had only ever been reflecting him, adjusted like a mirror repositioned. This is what Neville meant when he said, you rise in consciousness to the level of the thing desired, and you become that thing. You don't get what you want by hoping or pleading. You receive what you are conscious of being. That is the one thought that changes your reality. You are the operant power. The world is not out to get you or bless you randomly. It is a faithful servant of your imagination. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you stop trying to force the external and start commanding the internal. Your inner conversations, your silent assumptions, your daily self-concept, they are the architects of your fate. So here's the moral: stop asking the world to change and start assuming the change within yourself. Make your imagination the workshop of your new life. Speak only the words that affirm your new state. See only the images that confirm your vision. Feel only the feelings of having already arrived. That is the beginning of a new reality. Not someday, right now. Because your outer world is only ever catching up to the thoughts you are consistently entertaining. So entertain wisely. Assume powerfully. And walk boldly, knowing the truth that so few ever realize: you are not just in the world is in you. And with that one thought, you are free.